Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Psychedelic here. Today I'm going to be doing a little different video. I'm going to be doing, I thought about this the other day. I thought maybe I could do like a video on my top 10 most valuable records in my collection according to Discogs. And that is what this is. So it's going to be kind of stuff from the collection, obviously, and just stuff I've kind of talked about in the past, and just going to kind of compile it all here. I'll have one new record since I last been here, and sorry I felt a little absent on my last video, but that's how it goes, I guess, you know. Just not feeling up for it, but hey, didn't have much to share. But anyways, we're going to be moving on to the list here. And obviously a lot of these are from like the last maybe 2 years, because I really kind of went all out, you know, as far as like my spending. Made a lot of sales ever since 2020, and 2020 was like the best year, and I think most of these are probably from that year, if not, you know, maybe two, very most. But yeah, I think we're going to start like from the bottom. So all these records I'm going to be sharing have at least sold for like 500 bucks, and that's just on the variant or the pressing that I have listed on Discogs. So I'm going to start at number 10. So it's kind of an obvious pick here, but Gandalf. I think there's a few different pressings of this one. I think this is the Los Angeles pressing plant. I'm not very intelligent as far as like the statistics on the, you know, pressing plants and variants and whatnot, but when I checked on my copy, most it had sold for was like 500 bucks. So you just don't see them popping up as often as they used to, but I think they're selling a lot more for 500 now. At least they're getting listed for a little more than that. Just an eye-catching cover, you know, psychedelic rock for the most part, with a lot of heavy organ, you know, sort of, you know, proto-prog movements, you could say. Dreamy vocals, mostly cover songs, but they kind of make it original and they make it their own. So very much worth investigating. And this one I picked up, I think, maybe last year. I think early last year, 2021. Take it out of the sleeve here. This is Ardvark. Got pretty lucky with this one. Made a lot of sales when I picked this one up around the Christmas time, I think, of 2020. Kind of splurged on this one, and this is just freaking fantastic. Proto-prog. Very much psychedelic in nature. Sort of like a pre-ELP sound, but no guitar. It's all heavy Hammond organ driven. Lots of trippy segments throughout. And they just really jam on this one. Very great, tight musicianship. Great drumming. Great quality writing on this one. It's on the Dram Nova label. And I think this is a, yeah, this is a first press. UK pressing. It's got the red Dram Nova label there. Very cool. Highly worth your time. This one here just showed this band's previous album for this one. Got very lucky on this. I found a listing on eBay for like, it was like a little over 100 bucks, and you just see them like going for over 200 nowadays, if popping up at all. It seems like this is time in, time out for them. I would say this is definitely my favorite of their studio works, especially with the post-Van Morrison era. Kind of Middle Eastern flavored raga rock mixed with psychedelia. Great fuzz guitar. Unfortunately, it's quite a short album. You know, it's probably like just a tad under a half hour. A lot of great albums are like that, but great vocals, great performances, great wah-wah pedal movement throughout. Tracks like Marketplace, very fuzz-driven. Bent Over You is probably my favorite on here. It's on a Tower label. Quite collectible label these days. And just great graphic art. I mean, it just screams psychedelia. There might be a few variations of this label as well. That's the number 8 spot, I believe. Yes. Number 7. Picked this one up early, just before Constantine's drop. I was asking about certain records that he might have had. He was under the name Rare Rex for sale. on Instagram, and I picked this one up from him. Ardvark. It's kind of hit or miss what the title is for this band album. It's the US press on Roulette, of all labels, Roulette label. It's kind of interesting. I'm sure the UK presses go for probably, you know, gazillion more dollars more than this one, but you just don't see this one pop up either. And I kind of like this color variation rather than the blue. Although, you know, blue's my choice of color. I think this color is a little more fitting. You know, just for the music contents, I feel like. It's basically the one band. Am I thinking Gong? No, it's Egg. They would later form into Egg, the trio. So even though this features a young Steve Hillage, definitely not one to sleep on. So, Ardvark, classic. I can remember some of the prices. This one was like $6.50. I'll try to put the price in the video here, what they sold for, but this is James McCarthy, Born a Loser. This is on Audio House label. It's a very small, independent label out of Lawrence, Kansas. And I think this was a Kansas artist. It's pressed on blue vinyl. Not the best copy. Does play with some surface noise, no doubt, but it's definitely not going to sell for $600 considering condition, but still a fairly nice listen. Singer-songwriter, kind of loner folk. I wouldn't go as far as say psych folk, but pretty minimal. Just him and the guitar, and it's very nice. Original tracks. This one, the highest price was sold for, I think, $7.50 for an original copy of this. Peruvian band, Pax. May God and your will land you and your soul miles away from evil. It came out in 1970, I believe. And this is also not the best copy of it. I mean, to find records of this shape from this country of origin in good shape, it's pretty tough, but got lucky on an eBay deal on this. I think like just around $100. Black Sabbath comes to mind, especially the first track. Sounds a lot like War Pigs in spots. But yeah, just a great graphic. Then this copy here, I mean, this is a early repressing. It's like an airbrushed copy. This is the Velvet Underground and Nico. I picked this one up way early in the game. I think I picked this up maybe just a little bit before my VC days. Most I ever spun on a record at that time, which was like $150, I think. And got this on a very lucky bid. People were really bidding left and right on this one on eBay. Got so lucky when I, you know, got my high bid in there. And copies of this on this particular pressing, I think it's an East Coast pressing, but it was like a repress from '67, I think. I don't think it's '68, but the most it ever sold for was like $800 in clean shape. So the median price was like $400. So I did pretty good scooping this one up because it's pretty hard to find without the banana peel. And I probably gave my opinion on Velvet Underground and Nico in the past, but I'm just not nearly as crazy about them as other people. No doubt a very influential band, but I don't get as hyped as other people do. You know, it's not necessarily the musical contents that are bad, but I do respect the avenues that, you know, it formed so many different styles and bands that came across this group, and kind of sparked a whole kind of culture shock at the time. And even if it was poorly received, you know, there's certainly some things to pick from this that are very inspiring to some artists, and you know, kind of inspired the whole noise rock and just alternative music in general. So it's at the number 4 spot. And on number 3, this is one I picked up this year. This was very early this year, back in January. Cannot believe I scored a copy of this one. This is The Human Beast, Volume 1. This is the second press on the Decca label, but it's from Germany. It's on the red label, and this is just one I was kind of hoping I could hold off and, like, you know, not spend money on anything else but this one once the funds came along. And, you know, asked a couple people, one person in the VC plus a couple others that I spotted had this on their Instagram, asking if they were parting with it. People like to hang on to this one, so it's very, very cool. So it's kind of in the hard rock realm, but of course, obviously some psychedelic flourishes coming out of the 60s. Fantastic power trio psychedelia. And it's got some progressive movements, of course, but and the songwriting may not be super strong, but just the way everything is tuned and just their sound, the whole soundscape that they create on this record is very unique and just absolutely the sounds I am looking for in my kind of hard and heavy psych. For a UK original, we go for way more. I think that one sold for like $2,500, so you know, it's still on my want list, but we'll see if it happens. Then on to the number 2 spot. Pick this one up. This is again another original. I was just, you know, I was like for sure just going to keep my reissue forever, and somehow this popped up in the States and was accessible. The Plastic Cloud. Not much to say about this one as far as you know, those kind of garage psych connoisseurs out there. The more I listen to this, the more Beatle-esque it sounds to me, or at least in the vocal harmonies. Very vocal harmony driven, garage psych, you know, very much garage flavor, but there's a lot of like Stingray fuzz guitar in the whole mix, mixed with this kind of jangly flavor on the other half. Very good. Some might say overrated, but for me it's not. I think it's purely essential Canadian psych. It's on the Allied label, and this one hasn't really even sunk in that I own this one. The most ever sold for, I can't recall at the moment, but I'm sure it's in the 1,000 range, because what was it? The Human Beast sold for $800, so surely that's got to be up there as well. And then this final one, this is one that just I got to keep forever. I feel like, you know, probably the only copy in Nebraska or maybe the Midwest. I don't know. There was a guy who sells records out of Omaha. He had an original copy of this going for like $2,000. So it's definitely flown around the area, and to this day I just can't believe I have this. This was back in 2020 I picked this up. Creation of Sunlight, also known as Sunlight, was the band, but they kind of get miscategorized as Creation of Sunlight as the whole band name. Came out in '68, I think, but some sources say 1970, so it's not entirely sure on that one. But there's only been one other reissue, I think. Well, 2 of them. One was like a Brazilian press. It came out in '76, which is kind of an oddball bootleg of some sort. And then there was a Void reissue in 2002, I think. And those are kind of skyrocketing too, about $100 for a clean-shaped copy. Only pressed 600 of these back in the day, and you know, you can tell this one's definitely seen its day. It's certainly got some age wear. And when you look at the wax, you know, he graded it a G+. But I tell you what, man, this plays pretty excellent. I even featured this in one of my psychedelic trip videos from this record, and it sounds fantastic. Might have a click here and there, but you know, for its rarity, can't go wrong. It's on the Windy label, which also featured music from Merkin Manor, which I have a reissue of. But yeah, Creation of Sunlight, it's kind of like very Strawberry Alarm Clock inspired. You know, lots of Hammond organ, fuzz guitar in some spots. Just very tasteful pop psych, you know, sort of in that kind of sunshine pop realm, but with some high class for sure. So quite an image there, and I think I'm friends with this fella here, Steve Manitow. He's a Facebook friend. So whenever I get back on there. But yeah, that's basically it. Sorry I kind of forgot the prices on some of them, but like I said, I'll put them in here in the video. And I recommend all these records. So kind of just doing this on the spot, you know, it was just kind of a video idea I thought of, and had no vinyl updates for you this time around. And also I should mention, I am planning a little vacation trip this month. I won't say exactly where. I kind of maybe leave it as a surprise, but I will say it's the farthest east I've ever been here in the U.S. and probably the largest city so far. And if it all goes down, hopefully I'll have some video footage for you guys on my little embarkment. So till then, we shall see you soon.